Welcome, everyone, to the Executive Compass. This is where we get insights from B2B founders. We'll dive into their story, how they got started, their challenges and opportunities, and how they're shaping their business for the future. For those of you who are watching, I'm Amisha Sribankar, founder of Vectra Growth Partners, and today's guest is Neil Katz, founder of Exceptional HR Solutions, which is a Dallas area fractional HR and people operations firm. Do you mind doing a brief introduction?
Sure. Amisha, thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm super excited to be here with you and talking with your audience and get to know folks. But Neil Katz, founder, CEO of Exceptional HR Solutions. We are a Dallas-based firm, but we support companies throughout the United States. And what we do is this. We want to eliminate the drama and trauma of people in HR management for founders, leaders, executives that are trying to build and scale their companies, people that is your audience. Because the reality is they're spending anywhere from 35 to 40% of their time on the drama and trauma of people. Our philosophy is we'll come in on a fractional basis and manage that for them so they can get back to why they started their businesses and let us be the experts in this arena and really support them in the entire employee life cycle from A to Z. We'll manage that usually anywhere from 5 hours a month to 30 hours a week. And we develop custom solutions for every single client.
Wow, custom solutions. Eliminating the drama and trauma. I love that. What was the original gap that you may have seen in the marketplace that led you to find the company?
In full disclosure, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I found a gap. Why I did this and why I founded the company is I was working in corporate America and had for 20 plus years. Small, medium, large companies, global companies have had teams of 200 people, 40,000 employees throughout the world. And one of the things I realized is I just wasn't making a difference. I wasn't really bringing the value I wanted to for political reasons, cultures, whatever it may be. And I wanted to work for a company where I could truly make a difference. And what I realized was that was going to be me. So I decided to start my own firm and go help small to medium sized companies truly bring value to them in an HR perspective. What I realized very, very quickly was every small business that I've talked to, small to medium sized, growing, scaling company needs our help. It is amazing how many of them are spending time, energy, and effort in an arena. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, you shouldn't. You don't need to. Let us do the heavy lifting. And so, really, candidly, I think it found me as I got started because I wanted to be on that path to truly making a difference in helping companies.
Amazing. If you can give me kind of like maybe explain this to me in a sentence or two, what is it, or you can even talk about what is the biggest pressing problems that you see companies have when it comes to their people? What is the one problem that you solve?
Number one problem we solve is building an infrastructure and a process to help support their growth. Number one thing. As they're scaling and growing, the complexities of scaling a business, products, services, systems, technologies, supply chain, marketing, operations, and now you got the people.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we take that piece, move it off the plate. We'll support that leadership so they can really focus on some of those other components to really build that. And it's the number one thing we see is companies that just have a either rapidly have scaled and have no infrastructure related to the people, or just have a lot of components that are broken. And we come back in and solidify and create a solid foundation for the structures and systems and processes to have a really good people so they can continue to focus on their growth and development and their clients.
And some of that, does that entail getting rid of or letting go of some people who are no longer fit? Is that a domain that you enter, or do you leave it to them and you consult them about it?
So one of the things you bring up a great word, one of my least favorite words in the world is consulting. We're not consultants and we're not advisors. Let me say why, because everyone brings it up. We don't consult and advise, support and help. And then when there's a problem to be solved, we roll up our sleeves and we go in there with them and get it done. Do we exit people? Sometimes, yes. The reality is what we first try to do is find where people belong, which ones are performing well, which ones are not. And if they're not performing well, is there a seat somewhere on this bus that they belong, that their skills and competencies match up? If so, let's get them there. If not, and we have to develop an exit strategy, we'll do that as well. Additionally, we'll also look and say, where are you today? And you told me you want to be a 3x growth in the next 2 years. What's the gap? If you're here and you want to get to here, and for your listeners, from A to B or A to C, you got to have that gap filled. And it's not just hiring more bodies. You got to have structure, peoples, leaders, managers. If you go multi-state, multinational, you have to have all those components in place. I don't want leaders to worry about that. Give me a call. We'll take care of it for you. We'll build it all out and help you, but we'll do that full assessment for them. And really, if you remember the old fashioned, I think it was Office Depot where it was the easy button. That's our job. We're the easy button. We're easy button of HR.
Amazing. And does that include recruiting new hires too? Do you take care of that as well?
So easy answer, yes. Longer answer is if it's an employee life cycle from the moment you want to create a job, through onboarding employees, through recruiting individual contributors, and all of those things, through compensation, benefits, systems, investigation, employee relations, succession planning, leadership development, through exiting people out of the company, through unemployment claims, and all those things, we support the life cycle of the employee. The one thing that we do have is a slight carve out is what we call retained recruiting. So we do retained recruiting services for companies that have managers and above. It's a specialized recruiting skill. And what we've done is we've built a great system and a great team for that retained recruiting that augments our solutions with AI, but we retain at the center the human. So we do retained recruiting with humans augmented with AI technology. And that's a different skill set. We're getting to be exceptionally good in this market, so much so that we're launching a full division of this. We've only helped our existing clients, but the demand has been so great that we'll be expanding and launching this division throughout the country.
Tell me about your clientele. Is it a particular industry, niche, size? What does that look like?
Right now, today, we serve over 24 industries. And one of the things I learned as I was developing my ICP and saying, who is my ideal client? And I had multiple people provide wisdom and feedback, like you need to niche into a couple of industries. Industry specific doesn't work for us. What does work is size. And we focus on companies that have 5 to 500 employees throughout the United States. Our real sweet spot. We do very well in that space. We support those companies. We build for them. We rebuild, we create, we design, we develop whatever's necessary for those clients. That's why we do custom solutions.
Got it. And what does a typical engagement look like with a client? And I'm assuming it will be different from companies that have 5 employees versus companies who have 500 employees, but on average.
Average engagement's normally a year with most clients. And what we'll do is a retainer agreement from month to month. And what we'll do is set what we believe is a budgeted number of hours we think you're going to need each month. And then each quarter we'll adjust that up or down based on the needs of the clients and based on the needs of the business. So that's really where it starts getting very customized. And based on our expertise, we're like, look, we think you need this. Admittedly, we probably always go a little low because we don't want to burden that company and we want them to get the understanding of what we can do. And then based on how well we do, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it stays the same. Sometimes we've done a great job and it goes down. It's individual to each one of those clients.
Got it. And Neil, what do you think? Is it, I mean, okay, I'm trying to get my words around this question. When do companies reach out to you and say, everything's hitting the fan and we need you to come in? Is there a pattern that you've seen? And do you think that's the right time that they contact you? Or should they be doing it not necessarily later, but early? And how early, if that makes sense?
100%. So I'll give you the statistic. 95% of the companies that reach out to us are in pain, some level of pain. And generally it's pain enough that they've reached out. Like you always know, if you're sick, what do? You take something over the counter. If it gets worse, what do? Maybe try a little bit longer, and then you call your doc and get in for an appointment, right? Your doctor's not happy with you because you waited too long. Guess what? Might not be happy that you waited too long, but I'm glad you at least called. So what I would answer your question is, please call us as soon as you even think there's pain. If you're burning, and the biggest gauge to know, is it time to call us? How much time do you spend on this? Because the reality is this, as a leader, as an executive, as a founder, if you're spending more than 10% of your time in the HR arena, the entire life cycle of people, you're doing it wrong. Let us do it for you. You don't need to. I want to give you 4 to 8 hours a week back in your schedule for you to optimize, grow, engage, client success, launch new products, become a strategic visionary for your company, which is probably why you started it. Get back to that. But if you're waiting, it's fine. Most of them wait too long. I would love more clients to come to me as things are getting to be challenging. Go, Neil, we need your help. And look, that's a great client. We might start with 5 or 10 hours a month, just a little bit to kind of get the ball rolling, and then we'll support you as you continue to scale and grow.
Okay. And say you working with a company today, how soon can the leaders see some traction? Or, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that after 30 days of working together, this is off my plate and I don't even have to think about it. Like, what is the low hanging fruit that you typically go for?
I would tell you the low hanging fruit is always generally compliance related or drama related. An investigation, a behavior issue, a problem with an employee. Like, can you just help me fix this? Well, of course we can. It's easy for us. It's just like I would say, if your car is broken down, is the first person you're going to call a plumber? No, right. You would never call a plumber to fix your car. Why would you think, as an executive, you're going to be the expert in how to fix people issues? That's not your expertise. Call your HR partner. Let us help you. Candidly, Amisha, I couldn't tell you the last time. It's probably been 15 years since I've seen something new come across my plate. I have a team of 25 people. We have 450 years of experience combined. There's not much you're going to put in front of us we've never seen. In fact, we've probably seen it 1,000 times or more. So what I would say is let us manage it. We know how to do it. We're like, oh yeah, do this, this, and this. They're like, that's it. Well, I mean, it's not hard. We've just been doing it for a long time and we know how to do it well. So generally, all of our clients will see some impact in 30 days. It varies on what we're doing. Some will see it quicker and faster. Some will go, wow. Others will go, okay. And then there's a few of them that go, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could make it this easy. I'm like, yes, we can.
Okay. And what are the most common HR mistakes that you see in growing companies that delay scale or just create unnecessary risk or problems?
Full decisions. The decisions they're making to be nice to people, to promote people too quickly, to elevate them to new levels that they candidly aren't skilled or scoped for. Making decisions out of your heart and not recognizing that there's laws, regulations, rules, equity, and fairness to make sure that you're treating people fair and equitable. And last thing is, are you following all the rules? And let me tell you, if you have any of your friends in California, you want to talk about a state that's challenging from an employment perspective, California is number one. But here's the thing, a lot of people aren't misguided. It's not just California now. It's New York, it's Illinois, it's Colorado, it's Florida. Almost every state we see every year generally generate 3 to 10 new laws related to people regulations. How do you keep up with that as a business owner? It's almost impossible.
I can only imagine. What does it look like when you help a founder move from, I'm guessing, more of an operator role and just being stuck on the day to day to, say, an architect or a visionary leader where their rightful place is?
For me, it's giving them that freedom to explore and expand what they have in their mind. Because if they're architects and visionaries, they already have it. They've just been pulled down and pulled away from what they really want to be. And when you can set them free, the growth, the creativity, the development, the strategies, the pipelines, the new markets they can go into, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could have all this time back. It's really a time gift. It's the gift of time and strength.
Tell me about when you do enter a client engagement, and I'm assuming, and you said you have a team of 25 people on the team. Neil, what is your role, or has that shifted over time? Like, do you go in and consult with the, not consult, work with the leaders one-on-one, and does your team take care of the other functions, or tell me how that works?
Amisha, I used to, when I first started the company, it was me. And then I brought on one person, and two, and three, and I did all the clients. And it was about year two-ish, I started pulling back a little bit and I had some of the team managing the clients, but I was still actively involved. And in the last probably year and a half-ish, I have two clients right now, and that's it. And I can't bring on any more for me personally. I can't scale a business, build a business, be that visionary I want to be and need to be, and the company needs me to be. So I've had to pull back from direct client engagement. I do a lot of business development, operations, marketing, finance, all those other things I'm doing. But the reality is I don't do direct outreach anymore or direct client support because I just don't have the bandwidth for it. I'll be honest with you. My vision is, and I've held to it for 5 years, and I'm going to continue. I will always have a single client, possibly two, because I don't ever want to be too far removed to forget and stay connected to the need of our clients. To know when I'm out there talking to potential new clients, I don't want to be that CEO that sits there and I'm like, oh, I know. And I'm like, I really don't. Now I do. I have a client meeting with this one client every single week. We talk about her challenges, her issues, and I'm equally as connected as my team is. And for me, that's very, very important. We'll see if that changes in the future. But for now, I'll always have at least one, maybe two.
Okay. For your team, when they work with a client, is it 2 or 3 people engaging from your team at once, or is it just one person who takes care of everything? What does that dynamic look like?
Absolutely. So we assign every client a dedicated HR partner. And that partner's responsibility to manage that client and that account and take care of everything in that business, not just the people, but to learn the business, learn the operations, learn the teams, understand what are the levers that are important to that company. Additionally, they have an generalist HR partner that sits behind them and helps them with some of the work as well, especially on our larger clients. So it's generally a 2-person team that will support them. And then as a backup, they always have me to reach out to. And Occasionally, I'll get a call here or there from somebody needing some support or help.
Yeah. I want to ask this for someone who's built his entire career on managing people problems and keeping things running smoothly. How are you able to do that for your own business? What does a culture look like at your company?
You know, it's interesting, Misha. As the adage goes, and I'm going to get some adage part of this wrong, but you'll get the gist of it. The cobbler's children never have good shoes. So same concept. I have a great team. I'm blessed to have a great team. I'll be honest with you, we have a lot of work to do in our own culture because I've been so busy and growing and scaling the business. I will tell you, even myself, I question daily how I could be a better leader. I watch it, I learn from it, I recognize it, and I'm continuing to evolve it. And one of the things that from this year into next year, I'm really focused on is how do I become a better leader for my team? How do I better support them, align them, but also help them achieve their successes and goals? And candidly, I've done, I would say maybe okay is the best I'll give myself a score on at this point, but I have a lot of work to do. And the reason I share that so candidly is this is the same challenges every one of your B2B business owners are facing right now. And candidly, I could teach you and help you with your company. I still got some work to do on my own, and that's an area of opportunity for me.
I hear you. And that adage, I felt it completely. I think we all have that, right? The cobbler's children don't have shoes. So I know
Exactly.
yeah, it rings a bell for sure. Neil, this has been a fantastic conversation. I want to know what are your favorite challenges to work on when you take on a client, and what are some things, and you can share with us because other founders will relate to that. Your clients hopefully are not listening. What are the things that you don't really enjoy doing, but you're like, okay, it's part of the job. I have to get this done.
I think the favorite things is making a difference. I'll go back to why I started this whole business is I truly want to go in and help companies and I want to make a difference. And I want to see that moment of I have time. This isn't all falling on my shoulders. I have somebody that knows what they're doing, managing this people part for me. Oh my gosh, this is great. We don't take leaders out completely, but we give them the moments that they need to be involved, but the rest of the time they get back to it. So that to me is the best part of my business. What do I not like doing? Candidly, I don't like dealing with issues that companies say they want to make a difference and they really don't. They want structure and they don't. They don't. We want to bring in recommendations, suggestions, and changes like, yeah, but we know better. I'm like, then why did you hire us? The old Steve Jobs adage, why hire an expert in a field and not let them do their job? What are you paying them for? So my philosophy is I just don't want to work with clients that they hire us to be their HR experts and yet they still want to tell us everything they want done the way they want it. And that's fine. But we are experts for a reason. Please use our expertise.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know if you had client engagements that have turned sour and you gracefully part from that, you exit that relationship. Has that happened? Is it common?
Actually, Misha, very uncommon. I've actually had one client we terminated, and that was it. So far in the 5 years full time, I've been in this 5 years full time, part time, it's 14 years, but 5 years full time. I've only had one client I've had terminate, and it really wasn't termination. It just wasn't a fit. The client had a different direction. We could not meet their needs. There just was a disconnect. I'll be honest. I like a good challenge and bring me on a client that says that we can't, I'll make it work. And I love showing people we got you. We can do this. Some are harder than others, but the reality is we've been wildly successful.
I love hearing that. I mean, that's fantastic. One bad client relationship in 5 years, that's a commendable track record, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me about your day to day as a business owner. What does that look like? What are the things that you're doing in the company, your team, their roles? Let's dive into your business.
I would say for me, the biggest thing I spend my time on is a lot of meetings like everybody else. I still do a lot of business development. I love the business development. I'll be honest, I didn't think I did until I really got into this. And I spend probably 30 to 50% of my time on the business development side because it's just necessary. The other thing I'm really enjoying and I spend more and more of my time is developing my teams, whether it be my new sales leader, whether it be my content and marketing person, whether it be my social media person that supports us, whether it be the HR partners that want to talk through a situation and need a sounding board, whether it be figuring out what we're going to do with this crazy new technology called AI and how do we make it work and how do we bring it in, but not lose the human and human resources. All of those things is the vast majority. And then, of course, the good old fashioned compliance, operations, finance, website design, bill payment, invoicing, legal, all those other things that come up and down over time. I deal with that every single day.
Okay. What is one good problem in your business right now that, if solved, would just accelerate your growth?
If I could, the building out the top of the funnel, bringing more qualified leads into the business that truly need help, that will solve everything because look, growth and revenue fixes everything. We all know it.
Of course. And looking ahead, what opportunities are you most excited about for exceptional HR solutions? Like maybe say with the next 6 to 12 months.
I think the two areas I'm most excited about is what we're doing in the retained recruiting space. We've had so much success with our own clients, and now we're going to expand the services to other clients or other potential clients. Very excited. And with that, we're also offering an interim solution. So we'll be able to staff on an interim basis for any HR role that has a need that needs to be filled on an interim. So that's number one. The other piece I'm super excited about, and we've had some great success last year into this year, is we're launching or expanding our HR M&A services. So we're building out an M&A services on due diligence, integrations and implementations, and then fractional HR after that transaction's completed, along with offering companies that are selling, supporting them and shutting down. It's so funny. I talk to owners all the time. It's like, I sold my company. I'm like, and now what? They're like, I'm done. I'm like, you still got to shut down everything. They're like, no, I don't. They told me I'm done. I'm like, you're not. And I can't tell you how many companies I talk to where I have to help those owners anywhere from 30 to 90 to 120 days after they've sold, just with basic shutdown procedures. So that M&A area has been a real great success for us. And we're looking to really 3 to 5x that over the next 1 to 3 years.
Excellent. Love it. Neil, I have a couple more questions, and I think we're at the end of this interview. What's the one advice you'd give companies, to improve their people, their people functions at whatever they're doing? Like how to improve that working culture?
Listen, make time to listen to your people and truly listen. Don't debate them. Don't argue with them. Just hear them, listen, and make sure you understand. Because the reality is 90% of the challenges you're facing as a business owner today, the solutions are in your company. Just ask your team.
I love it. And my last question for this podcast is, where can people find you online and connect with you?
I'd say the best two places, my website, exceptionalhrsolutions.com, and then LinkedIn. Those are the two places I spend the vast majority of my time. Anybody wants to jump on a chat with me and talk through, I'll be more than happy to give you 30 minutes and talk through and support you and answer questions. And if you just need a sounding board, you're faced with a difficult situation or scenario, let's talk it out. I'll help you. I'll be more than happy to help. It's why I started.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful conversation. It's been a real pleasure. I've learned so much, and I hope wish you all the best.
Thank you, Misha. I appreciate it today.